let's get some more views on how today has gone. And I'm speaking now to an observer from Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu Natal, Professor Simangaliso Kulmalo of the KwaZulu Natal Christian Council. Now, he's been observing the day's events. He's also an associate professor in religion and governance at KZN. Prof, thank you so much for joining us. So we did hear some reports of unrest in KwaZulu Natal, I think at about 20 voter stations, which did apparently delay the opening of those stations. Do you have any more information about those problem areas in KwaZulu Natal?
Oh yes, indeed, Sally. We picked up a number of areas that have been problematic today. For instance, at Municipal in Wavuma, there were service delivery protests that impacted in some small way to the elections. We are also aware that in the area of Municipal, there was an official who was caught with ballot boxes and all that sorts of issues. I think the news have picked that up and mentioned it. We are also aware that here at Gwamnyavu, here in Mkambatini, there has been incidents of a voting station being burnt down, although the issue is around the traditional leadership issues in that community, but it has spilled over into this issue of the voting stations. We've also realized that from our perspective, our observers are telling us that the voter turnout is lower than we have seen it in previous years. So when they go to the stations, in terms of the numbers of people who are there, comparatively speaking, from the previous years, it's less. But we are hopeful that this is not yet the end of the day. Maybe the numbers will pick up as the day goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do know that people tend to stream to the polls towards the evening. But certainly that is something to watch because that could absolutely change the picture quite substantially. We know, of course, that KwaZulu Natal has been an area of great concern. We know about the 3 ANC members, the 3 women who were gunned down outside a branch meeting in Inanda a few weeks back. Also, the councillor in Cato Crest who was killed. There was also an EFF councillor or supporter who was murdered. Has there been any reporting today from the province of anyone hurt, killed, or anything serious in terms of violence and disruptions?
Not necessarily. We've not picked up any serious incident, except an incident in Ulundi, where one official of a political organization had to be stripped of his T-shirt, which was aligned to a certain organization. That was a bit of a disruption. Other than that, it's been quiet. People have been voting. It's been smooth, except in areas where there has been, for instance, in Umsinga, in some of the voting stations there was a problem of electricity, there was a problem of water, and people queuing and without having water, and it's been quite hot here in KwaZulu Natal. And at some instance, they ran out of, the scanners were not working because electricity was not working. But those were minor problems that are quite logistical, but they have not given huge problems. Our observers have not picked up huge problems, so we're quite hopeful that the day will go smooth.
Yes, let's hope it continues in a smooth manner, and certainly some disruptions, but nothing too serious. Obviously, that one arrest of an official accused of trying to stuff a ballot box and that voting station burnt down over a traditional leadership issue. But as you say, small isolated incidents and nothing that has caused harm to any individual today so far. Thank you so much for giving us that update, Professor Simangaliso Kulmalo. He's part of the observer mission from the KwaZulu Natal Christian Council, also an associate professor in religion and governance at KZN.